A deaf couple goes to a party and the wife decides not to drink in order to let her husband have a good time. After having 5 or 6 beers, the husband is feeling pretty good and decides they better get home to relieve the babysitter whom they are already late for. With his wife driving, they begin to drive home and she accidentally switches lanes without using her blinker and a cop pulls her over. After approaching the vehicle, the cop smells alcohol and believes they both have been drinking. Being extremely involved in the deaf community, the wife and husband have never learned to use their voices, so they are unable to communicate at all with the police officer. Not having an interpreter present, the policeman gets extremely irritated with the communication barrier. Knowing that both of them are above the legal age limit, the policeman assumes both had been drinking and immediately begins questioning the wife, who was unable to neither answer nor communicate her response back. After receiving no answer from the wife, the policeman begins sobriety tests with her. Having no idea why they have been pulled over or why they are being questioned, the husband and wife begin to feel extremely frustrated with the policeman. Sensing this, the policeman continues to test the wife, confusing her frustration with nervousness that they had been caught. He refuses any effort put forth by the husband and wife, even as far as giving them a piece of paper to explain or question the officer on what they had done wrong. From the test given, the wife finally figures out that she is being tested for drinking and driving, and her frustration comes out even more when she realizes she is unable to explain that her husband had been drinking and she had not. Finally, the officer decides that the sobriety tests are not an accurate test for her and has her take a breathalyzer. She blows all zeros, but the officer is still persistent. He arrests her and decides to take her down to the police station, all while she and her husband have no idea why they are being arrested. Finally, once arriving to the police station, an interpreter is present, and the wife is finally able to tell her story. They are immediately let go, but it still doesn't solve the fact that the 2 to 3 hours of dealing with the police results in an upset babysitter as well as children at home. This whole scenario is extremely frustrating because of the fact that the wife is unable to explain herself, especially when someone who is irritated extremely fast. The police officer most likely has not any experience or any contact with a deaf person and has no idea how to handle the situation. After smelling the alcohol when he first approaches the car, he believes they have broken the law and need to be punished for it, whether they are deaf or not. However, this preconception, which would have been taken care of if they were able to communicate, holds the wife in an extremely tough position. Because they were both of legal age, they were okay to be drinking but not driving, which is why the policeman probably didn't even question the husband and is concerned with the person driving, who is the wife. This puts her and her family in quite a bind, as there are many areas of her life that could be affected with getting a DUI, as well as just the process of the sobriety test. Some major life areas that are impacted by this incident could include spiritual. Breaking the law is a sin in most religions, and you may have a couple that is extremely religious and may think they have broken the law or sinned in some way, which they actually hadn't. This may cause unnecessary stress, which brings me to physical. Being extremely frustrated and worrisome about your children and all the different ways a DUI on your record could be impacted brings such stress on your body and causes problems down the road or even at the situation at hand. Just getting pulled over for me causes problems and headaches, and I can hear. Financial, you would find yourself wondering about paying court fees even if the family was financially stable or not. Also, if charged or if arriving to the police station, the deaf couple would probably request a lawyer that knows the laws in regards to having an interpreter present during a police investigation. The professional aspect, careers and jobs may be put on the line as many jobs screen backgrounds in search of acts of irresponsibility. So having a DUI on record may cause the deaf woman a more promising job in the future. Also, professionals in the workplace she is in now may become unresponsive and cold to her, thinking that she is an irresponsible adult that she would endanger her and her husband's life by drinking and driving. This also could affect her social world, because as people find out about her so-called mishap, she may lose the respect of her friends, family, and children, if they are old enough to understand. That could possibly twist the story to make the situation much more horrible than necessary. For a small second scenario, you have a woman trying to purchase a cell phone for the purposes of texting only. She has never bought a cell phone before and is unaware of how you would even begin to purchase one. For the following scene, my friend and I will demonstrate a sample conversation between a deaf person and a cell phone salesman. Hello. How can I help you? Ma'am? Ma'am? That phone is only $49.99, you know. No? Okay. What do you want that for? Oh! Why would you want a cell phone if you're deaf? Texting. So you don't want minutes? You don't want minutes? Why would you need minutes? Okay. I'd have to ask my manager. Hold on. From this scenario, the sales clerk is completely unaware that she is deaf and unaware of deaf culture. This can be extremely frustrating for the deaf woman, as she may need the cell phone for her career in order to keep touch with her colleagues. She may need it to keep in touch with her family and friends as well that may live near or far away. A lot of the social and dating world is involved in texting, and not being able to purchase a cell phone because you have an unaware sales clerk can be damaging to a person's social life as well as pride. To not be understood like that is hard to deal with and can cause stress.